Welcome to the Dilemma series. The one is a light-hearted everyday dilemma confronting many of us, which we call the social dilemma. We then have the moral dilemma, which is on a Friday, which is a much more intense and it demands a soul-searching way to find solutions between the two evils. A very special welcome to our Facebook viewers. For our Facebook viewers, no, this is not a puppet show. The avatars present here in the Dilemma Lounge are real people sitting in the comfort of their homes, projecting their persona through custom designed avatars. All right, and we're using AltSpace VR. The format of this discussion involves two topics: a quickie, which lasts no more than 20 minutes, and then we get into a deeper and spicier discussion. The moral and social dilemma. It is a 1-hour live discussion events on Fridays and Mondays where we ask moral and social dilemmas. We then go around the virtual table, maximum of 2 minutes each, to share our thoughts, answers, and ideas. And the goal is to improve our thinking and speaking skills on new levels.
You fall in love with an atheist. You come from an extremely religious family and society. Do you pursue the relationship, or do you call it quits before the beep hits the fan?
Welcome. Feel free to speak or pass.
Oh, hi, that's me. Hi, guys. Fall in love with well, I am an atheist. My wife was quite religious when she married me because of the upbringing. But at the end of the day, the shit didn't hit the fan. You know, we respected each other's views and stuff like that, and we kind of compromised over the years. So, you know, over the last 25 years, 30 years, or maybe even more, actually, no, 25 years. Yeah, it depends how you look at it, who you're with. It's not, at the end of the day, the word that's most important in that question is relationship. How do you take it? You know,
Great.
It's not about atheism or religion.
Thanks.
It's about relationship, and that's the main thing.
Thanks, AK. Great start to this second part of the discussion. And might I just say, for those who don't know, an atheist in this case, because I know there are a number of ways to define it, but this specific atheist in this dilemma, he is somebody that does not believe in any God. He does not believe in any deity, and he does not believe in any biblical God. So no forms of God at all whatsoever. That is so this guy is an extreme atheist. Let's go to lovely Wee Beastie again. All right. I've just got to find you. Okay. Speak or pass?
Very quickly, I would just say love is love, and it doesn't matter any of the boundaries that come with that. If you love someone, you love them regardless. And who are we to judge?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Short and sweet. Okay, next is Ali. You're gonna have to help me. Brandon.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome.
Well, thanks for having me. I think... I don't know, to be honest, because I've never been in a relationship, so I can't really speak on it.
Okay.
But love is love at the end of the day, and if you love someone, you should just go for it, no matter what your beliefs are.
Thanks,
and that's
Brandon.
it.
I think I'm going to make a banner in this room saying love is love. I love that. Absolutely beautiful. Coming from Wee Beastie and now agreed from Brandon. Next, Lemon Tech. Thanks for sticking around, Lemon Tech. We literally were 10 seconds away from you know what.
Thanks as well for hosting. Yeah, from my perspective, I honestly don't think it's going to be an issue. I have like one of my best friends in high school is Muslim, married to a Christian, had a Catholic Christian wedding rather, not a Catholic one. Uh, I don't think it's an issue. I think people's perspective on the metaphysical, whether it be faith or speculation, it doesn't really pertain to the present, which is the life of the two people in a relationship together. And if there were to be conflicts relating to something that's inconsequential to their relationship, which is just a matter of like perspective, then there's probably something deeper that's wrong. That has nothing to do with religion. So, for my perspective, I think, yeah, it's worthwhile to pursue it because it's being pursued for the right reasons.
Awesome. Thank you. Vicky.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, okay. So my dilemma that I have with this is, okay, so let's say you fall in love with them. First is, do they love you back? And the second part is, do they love you enough to respect that you two are coming from two different places? I think sometimes that people love each other, but they don't necessarily respect each other. And I think that has a lot to do with it. If you can get love and you can get respect, then yeah, you can make it work out. But if you love each other, but you disrespect each other, I guess you could at some point. It would just be really rocky.
All right. So admin writes.
So that's the thing is,
admin writes, before you continue, you fall in love with an atheist. This atheist also falls in love with you. So these two people are in love. Both of them are in love. So read it as if it's like that, where they're both in love. It's got nothing to do with the two people that are in love. It's got to do with the family and society reasons that will come about. Okay? Then we have Beetlemeyer. Let's see. Megaphone. Thank you, Vicky.
Beetlemeyer. This is really interesting because I'm on my second marriage now. I've been together for about 11 years. We're both atheists, but my first wife was extremely religious. She was a kind person, but it's really weird because your question here is from an extremely religious family and society. That means they're very devout. They go to church all the time. They have beliefs. Like I try to explain to my nieces that I had at the time, the evolution of dinosaurs and stuff. And they were like, we don't believe in that in this house. And it becomes a really difficult situation where, I'm saying stuff like, well, if God exists, he sure is an asshole. And, that offends them, to the point where we can't get along, that even if you're in love, you have to consider the situation that you're going to have friction in your relationship. I think that's something really important to consider too, because that sort of conflict can really hurt things. So it's something that you really have to take a lot of consideration with your significant other. For me, it was fine, but eventually it wasn't for everybody else.
Awesome. So you pursued the relationship, is that correct, Beetlemeyer?
Yeah, we were married for 5 years. And I think our differences in religion is what ultimately, was a big part of it not working out.
All right.
Even though we were in love, we're married, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But my wife now is great. We've been together 11 years, and it's fantastic.
All right.
I don't... It can work. You just have to be very open and communicative, and you have to understand that I'm not going to sit there and take abuse from your family and friends because they don't respect me.
Yeah, and
if you support them, then I mean,
the funny thing is that you can have 99 things that are perfect in the relationship, and you find that everything is great between you guys, and then that one thing just outweighs everything, and it comes back to you and bites you again and again and again. And those are definitely the things that you need to consider. TV Don, those who are on the couch get a chance to speak or pass. So, TV Don, I think you just joined now. This is a social dilemma. The dilemma is behind you, and basically you just got to answer with your own thoughts and opinions. Feel free to speak or pass.
Can I pass the first time and I'll see what people are saying?
It's definitely the last time, but at the end of this round, I'll allow hand raises to those that pop in the world because, you know, I can't really keep up with everybody on the couch. We're seeing people pop in and out. And at the moment, we're the number one event with 24 people. So it is difficult to keep up with all of that. Okay, Cole Moore. Okay. All right. No problem, TV Don. Cole Moorhead. Feel free to speak or pass.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Good.
So strictly speaking, just for myself here, as someone who I'm not religious, it's not a religion, it's more of a relationship than anything. Hold on one second.
Shall we move to the next person, and then we'll get back to you? All right, Althina. You ain't getting away that quickly. Just 1 second. Hello and welcome to the Greek Taverna, or the Dilemma Lounge.
Hi. Hi.
Yes.
Okay, the dilemma with the atheists. I think that first I will try to talk with the person, with my partner, and see how what he thinks about religion. If he can't tolerate our difference of opinions, we will have to cut the relationship.
Okay. Thanks, Althina.
Yes.
Let's move to Kerry. Kerry. Let me just find you. I've got 4 pages to go through. Kerry 120. Megaphone is yours. Feel free to speak or pass.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Basically what I think it all comes down to is a mutual respect from both people in the relationship, but also a respect of each other's families as well. And most importantly, it comes down to whose side you're going to be taking. If your family is going against what your partner is saying or what your partner believes in, you need to be the person that says, I love them regardless, and if you love me, you'll love them regardless. And I think it also comes down to that certain things should stay between the people in the relationship, and there are things that the family can be involved in and things that they just shouldn't be.
Awesome. Great, thanks. Javier. Do you pursue the relationship or not? Feel free to speak or pass. All right, let's move to Samurai Guy. Hello, Ali. Samurai Guy.
Hello, I'm back.
Feel free to speak or pass.
Alright, so this is my own belief, but I view religion as more of a vehicle for the self to understand and be okay with life. You know, religion is our way of understanding where our place is in, you know, whatever we consider life to be. So if that's an individual pursuit, in a relationship, you should consider the other person an individual. And to project your own individual beliefs and vehicle on this other person kind of devalues who they are as a person. So to view them as somebody with their own belief, their own movement through and belief of life, then I feel like that's where a good relationship even begins, because you're respecting them as an individual instead of trying to see the relationship as just a manifestation of the qualities of yourself. So.
All right. Snezzles. 1 second.
Hello.
Hello again.
All right. Yeah, this is something to think about and a half. But I believe that like religion is, well, it's if it makes you happy, it's something that like you can get behind, and it's feeling like a coping mechanism or something like that. Like maybe you can find the same feeling you get from religion in another person as the feeling that you have like with God or something, or not like following and worshipping like that, just sort of that bond, I guess. Not much I can really say about this, but yeah.
Can I just see from a show of emojis who would pursue the relationship? That's all I want to know. Who would pursue the relationship? Give me emojis. All right. So it's about 50-50.
Damn.
Then let's go to Blake. Blake, megaphone is yours. Speak or pass.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm an atheist and I've been in a relationship with an Orthodox Christian girl for 4 years and it's never been a problem. I'll go to church with her if she wants me to. We just never really talk about our beliefs because, well, out of respect for her, I won't say like I think it's nonsense or anything like that. And she tried to convince me now and then. She'll say, "Oh, but you know, this says the Bible says this or that and this." I'll just nod and I'll pretend that I'm listening. But it's very hard to be convinced about supernatural claims, so I'm just polite and I let her believe what she wants. I don't try and change her beliefs. So I think as long as you understand the boundaries, everything works out okay. So yeah, that's my view.
So you found the mutual ground within the relationship, and you know the
exactly
the
we compromise basically.
Compromise, brilliant.
Yeah.
Thanks, thanks, Blake. Blitter boy.
Just a sec.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, good. Right. Well, I think the only problem that would come into this situation is in the question there. Family and society. I mean, if you've got to the stage with someone that you're in a relationship and you've fallen in love, if you've got to that stage with your differences, then the only stumbling block I can see really is family and society pressure. If the person who's religious, if their family are putting pressure on, the person that they need to find someone from the same ilk, religious ilk, then I think that's really unfair. And, to put pressure on a family member like that, I think that's really quite poor. So if it gets to that stage and they put on so much pressure that they break the relationship up, then they should be damn ashamed of themselves, basically, for doing that to someone they supposedly love. The two people in the actual relationship, they've got through to a stage where they've got together, they like each other, they've fallen in love. So leave it there. Leave them alone, for crying out loud,
Yeah.
That's what I've got to say on the matter, basically.
Awesome. We then have...
But I have to admit, I'm
Yes?
not particularly religious person. I would say I'm an atheist, but not by the definition you've given. The definition I would say is it's impossible to prove or disprove the existence of God, and that's as far as I've got.
Yeah,
I tend
just
to think about it any more than that, to be honest.
I didn't define what an atheist is. What I said is that this particular atheist is a gnostic atheist who's an extreme version who doesn't believe in any form of biblical or deities or anything. So he's the extreme one.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Yeah, well, I can't really put myself in that position.
All right.
Because I'm not that extreme. I find it incredibly confusing. I mean, my mum was an extremely devout Christian. She actually died a couple of months ago. She had Alzheimer's, and she had her whole dignity taken away from her. And you want me to believe in God now? I mean, come on.
All right.
Do me a favor. So that's as far as I've got on the thing. I tend not to try and think about it, to be honest.
Okay.
You just drive yourself mad. I've got more important things in my life to think about, to be honest.
All right,
but it's
sorry, I had to mute you. That was the time. But I'm sure we got to it. If you want to continue speaking, just raise your hand when we open the table. But this event is being streamed and is quite important with being punctual on time. Those who haven't spoken, I know there's a bunch of new people that's joined. Feel free to raise your hand and let us hear your thoughts and answers with the dilemma behind. Nice guy. You are next on the participation table. Yes.
Yeah. What my biggest concern is that here, my family has been integrated with Christians and Jewish people and all kinds of stuff like that. And I have the biggest controversy that we have ran into for many, many years. And this is for an ongoing situation with my family, is that if the husband is Jewish, and if the missus is a Christian, that the kids are to follow through with Christianity. And if it was vice versa, that if the dad was the Christian and the mom was a Jewish ethnic background, that the bar mitzvahs was to go with the children. But sometimes it doesn't always work that way. Doesn't. That, either one will be centered that this is their way of doing it, or it's the highway. And that's the biggest problem. And the biggest controversy is that where do you want the children to go?
Yeah.
Do you want them to be more on the Christian side, or do you want them to learn the Jewish side, which is the King James version of everything? Right. But it's been translated from Hebrew to the King James version. Do people understand it all? Some do and some don't. That's why they have tweaked so many different understandings of the faith.
Cool. Thanks. Thanks, nice guy.
I mean, I'm all for it, but the problem is how do you want to bring your kids up?
Thanks. Okay, so sorry, time was up there, nice guy, but I think we got your gist with exactly what you meant, and the conflict is real and it's happening every single day. Ramek, welcome. And to those who've joined, if you feel like participating, the dilemma is behind you and you can jump on the couch and then raise your hand, and we'd love to hear your thoughts, answers, or you may pass. Ramek. Yeah.
Hello, guys.
You want to go take a seat on the couch?
Actually, I guess I'm on the couch, I guess.
Wrong couch. That's ours. That's the kicking couch. All right. Let's see. So, yes. So, those who've just joined, feel free to raise your hand. I do want to hear from Dr. Sam. I haven't forgotten about you, Dr. Sam. So, I'm going to give you the megaphone shortly. Yes.
Thank you, Timon. Look, I think we've heard some excellent arguments and real life situations. I mean, AK gave us a classical life situation where he was quite happy. Blake gave a similar situation. Blitterboy gave a similar situation. Nice guy started touching on ramifications, and I think that's something that nobody has touched on here, and I'm not sure if people are scared to actually voice an opinion, are scared to insult anybody. I think this is an open discussion, but there are ramifications. So, and I've just seen that we're being followed by about 4,000 Facebook followers on various groups. And it looks like some of them have messaged me and said, we can't see the topic. So I'm going to read it, and please just give me a few extra minutes. So the topic is, you fall in love with an atheist. You come from an extremely religious family and society. And I think everybody spoke about their own situation, but didn't focus on this extremely religious family and society. And then, of course, the issue here is the dilemma here is, do you pursue the relationship, or do you call it quits before the shit hits the fan? And of course, we need to qualify what do we mean by the shit hits the fan. But the ramifications are as follows. As soon as you have children, the dilemma immediately explodes, where the one spouse wants the child to be religious and to teach them about creationism, about God or their God. There are a lot of gods. There's 2,000 gods out there. There's not just one God. There's many gods. It depends on which religion you follow. So if you are Jewish, you will follow Yahweh. If you are a Muslim, you will follow Allah. If you are a Christian, you will follow the God of the New Testament. If you're a Hindu, there are 1 million gods in the Hindu religion. So there are many gods. So you're posed with a situation. What do you tell your children? And immediately you're in a conflict situation where you want to teach your children about evolution and about Darwin, and immediately your spouse says, but hold it. My book says that life started 6,000 years ago with Adam and Eve. So that immediately creates a conflict. Then what about the rituals that many religions take place? So the male circumcision. Do you say, well, let's just let my son be circumcised? Well, I'm a physician, so circumcision is not that traumatic on the child. But what about female genital mutilation? Would you allow that as part of your religious doctrine? So these are issues, and then the society itself will reject you if you do not accept their God. What happens when you go to their religious ceremonies? So it is not as simple as everybody's trying to make it out. And I personally think if as stated here, extremely religious, and I understand what AK said, and I understand what Blake said, but in extremely religious situation, I think you've got to get out before the shit hits the fan, and that's my personal opinion.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Dr. Sam. We then have Iceman.
Hello, everybody.
Hi there.
Hello, my name's Iceman. I'm Christian, and I believe there's a point where we have to understand we're all people, and my beliefs is my beliefs. His beliefs is his beliefs. That's not going to stop me from trying to create a friendship or any type of relationship with anybody. I feel as though if you believe in what you believe in, then what you can only do is let what you do shine enough so that whoever you're with can see it and maybe make them want to change. So I feel as though you can be friends with anybody, you can be in a relationship with anybody, fall in love with anybody, but it's how you carry yourself and the other person sees how your life is going, how your life is living, that might make them want to change or make them see through your eyes in a sense. So I don't think you should call it quits. I think you should, if you really care about this person, you tough it out, see where it goes. You never know. It could be good, it could be bad, but at the end of the day, it's up to that person to decide if they want to, because I know, a lot of people, they say, well, man, like your life has totally changed. You're a different person. You're not who you are. What happened? What made you go down this path? It could be Christianity. It could be, you wanted to be enlightened. You wanted to study Allah. It could be anything. But if it changed you for the better, then that person's going to want to change as well. So I feel as though you should give it a chance.
Awesome. Thank you, Iceman. Before I open the table to everybody else, those were great words, because I can see people are starting to raise their hands with when we open the table to discuss and maybe even have a rebuttal. But first, let's hear from Ali.
And hello from me again. Well, I see two situations here. If I was extremely religious and fell in love with an atheist, first of all, I would like to communicate. I believe in strong communication with my partner, see if we could reach some mutual understanding and a mutual ground and mutual respect. In that case, if there was a mutual understanding and respect, I'll definitely pursue. On the other hand, if I wasn't religious, however, my society and my background was religious, and I still communicated and found mutual understanding and respect with my partner, and we came to some kind of mutual ground, so to say, I would definitely pursue. I don't believe in third-party intervention from parents, society. Who cares what they say? It's all about if I'm happy with my partner, that's what counts at the end of the day. Nobody knows what's happening behind your closed door anyway. So I would definitely pursue it and give it a chance. Guys, it's love. You follow your heart. Give it a chance. You don't know what you might be missing out on.
Love is love.
That's my opinion.
Nice,
Love is
Ali.
love.
I love it. Yes.
Mr. Tim, I would love to hear your opinion.
Oh no, I wanted to be spicy today, but everyone's so like chilled, so I guess I'm going to be less spicy.
Give us your spicy opinion either way. Let's go.
Well, sorry. The water went down wrong. So I will most definitely pursue the relationship. So I believe that if your loved ones do not have their priorities as your happiness, and they only care about their expectations and self-interests, I personally don't want to even be a part of that family. Because it's not about the relationship that I would leave the family. It's the principle which I believe is more important. And unfortunately, anybody who adopts an old way of thinking, with whether the families look to their family name, status, or their expectations above their own children's happiness and choices, well, I think they can leave my life. In fact, the quote for the week on VR Digital Citizen's Instagram page was, the only thing your loved ones, which are your parents and your partners, should want for you is your happiness. Everything else is self-interest. And eventually, if they come to terms with their predicament and they end up actually wanting to have the best for their children over time, they can return, and I'll be there with open arms. So I would definitely pursue that relationship, because in my eyes, that type of family who have expectations and status above their own children's happiness is toxic. That's as spicy as I get tonight. So now let's open the table. This was the second dilemma for the night. Social dilemma. So feel free to now raise your hands and let's hear your thoughts. AKA Indie Pre.
I like to actually say myself.
Oh, you're very quiet. Is it just me?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
No. I think just re-enter space and I'll allow you to speak, AK. That's very quiet. Unless it's just me, I don't know. Dr. Sam? Anyone else? Let's just raise your hands. And then we will have a rebuttal. Dr. Sam, I know you raised your hands, but I see you switched it off, so I'm just going to get you back on again. I just got to find you. There's so many pages of people here. All right. Megaphones on.
Timon, no, I just wanted to make the point that Iceman made, that he would try and convert his spouse to his belief system. And I'm not sure if that's morally correct, because you're assuming that your belief system is better than your spouse's, and therefore you're proselytizing your belief system. And I believe that in itself is immoral. And that was just a personal thought.
All right.
It was just a rebuttal to what Iceman said.
And also, considering the fact that there are, first thing I have to correct you, Dr. Sam, there's not 2,700 gods. There are 2,700 religions. There are millions of gods. And the funny thing is the difference between, say, a Christian and Muslim is that they don't believe in 2,699 gods, but they believe in one. And with an atheist, it's just one extra. So if you think of it in that way, yeah. Now I want you to also
Timon,
raise your hand and
sorry,
rebuttal.
Timon.
Yes.
Timon, sorry. What you've just said is that everybody sitting in this room is an atheist for somebody else's religion.
Correct. Absolutely.
Which is exactly what it is.
And
I'm sorry that I'm hogging the what's name, but I would really like to hear from AK, because AK spoke about his personal relationship, but he didn't speak, and maybe he doesn't want to, maybe it's too personal, to tell us how did they bring up the children.
Absolutely. AK has raised his hand.
Yeah, how did society treat him?
AK and then Iceman. Yes. Don't worry, Iceman, I see you.
Can you hear me properly now?
I can hear you perfectly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
All right. Basically, in my family, there's Christians, there's Hindus, there was also a Muslim, and I've lived in both sides of the world. The way we chose to actually bring up our children is to let them experience different things. When they were young, my mom is very religious, so basically we had our own ceremony and our thingy, and basically even when we got married, we had the option of actually having an arranged marriage or a love marriage. At that time, I decided to have arranged marriage, but that was my personal thingy. And my wife, when she came in, she was religious, very religious, and she followed the same things as my mom did. But when we brought up our kids, and I think my family, even my mom and dad, they told us, follow what is right for you, because life will change, So basically, that's how we have brought our children up. We have given them the experiences they needed, and now it's up. They are old enough to choose until they become adults. So, I think children need to actually experience that. And I've had the conflict of different religions, different beliefs and stuff like that. And you got to get past the religious bit and read into basically what it means. The words, is basically most of the religions have a set amount of things, and most of them are very similar words. Be kind to the next person. The 10 Commandments is about how you treat everybody else. And that's what religion brings to way of explaining things. Being an atheist doesn't mean that you actually dehumanize religion. You got to accept somebody else's belief. And that's how I look at it. And that's how my children look at it. And that's how my family looks at it. So when we all get together, we talk about things. I've been to a Christian wedding. I've been to a Christian baptism because of my nephews. And we've had a Hindu bit as well. So it doesn't make much difference as long as the family accepts it. If I've had pressures from my mum, when I was young, that, you need to do this and do that. But in the end, she she didn't pressure us into being religious or believing in one God. She said, what she said to me once was like, listen to the words, learn from them, you know, okay, this is how I, she goes, this is how I get comfort. If you find comfort in this religion, that's fine, because that will help you along the way, but you don't have to take that option. You got free will, and that's what it's all about. So when I got married, that was it. I just wanted to be, I respected my wife's thoughts and her beliefs, and she respected mine, and we've come to not a compromise, but we listen to each other. Even her, it's not about not talking about religion, it's about actually understanding each other's thinking and what they get out from religion, and that is probably more important, and what you believe in, and that other person has to actually not respect it, but they got to love you for it.
All right.
Respect is not the word. I think they got to love you for your own beliefs.
Thanks,
And
AK. I got to stop you there. That's 2 minutes. Just raise your hand if you want another 2 minutes. Absolutely. Samurai Guy. Yes, Samurai Guy.
I do believe Iceman was waiting to speak.
It's with their participation. So you came first, and then Iceman, absolutely. But I can definitely put Iceman, and then I'll let you speak afterwards. Iceman, the megaphone is yours.
Thank you. Just to rebuttal to this gentleman's statement that he made, I wasn't saying to convert my loved one. What I was saying was, like this gentleman has said, it's more of an understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna force you to do it. I'm not gonna try to convince you to do it, but I'm gonna show you how my life is changed, how I'm living, and maybe it'll help you. If it doesn't, that's fine by me. But at the same time, I'm not gonna say, well, I'm going to church, you need to come with me. No. I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to church. If you would like to join, you can. If not, that's okay. I'll see you when I get back. I would never try to force anything on anybody. One things about people general, we have to learn to understand each other. That's really what the world needs in a whole. I mean, I'm black. I'm pretty sure there's other minorities out here, but as a people, we're sitting in a virtual room together discussing the topic. We're not arguing, we're not fighting, we're not trying to take over. This is what the world needs in itself, is an understanding of, okay, well, this is how you view this subject, this is how he views the subject. I'm not mad at him for how he feels. That's his opinion. But one of the things that I think we need to understand, it's not about us black people need to rise up and take over. It's not about us white people rising up and taking over. It's we all as a people, not as a race, but as human beings themselves, need to learn to understand one another and live on this earth as one unit, unified front. You know what I'm saying? So if that means that I have to understand that this brother right here, he might like cheese on his eggs. I don't like eggs. I'm not gonna hate him for it. That's his decision. I'm gonna respect him for it, and I'm gonna still love him as my brother. But I think that's one thing that people can't. One of the hardest things to do in this earth is to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. To just realize you could be driving down the road or highway, and somebody's car could be broke down. 9 times out of 10, they just need help. It might be that one idiot that might try to rob you and take what's yours. But at the same time, does that mean you don't at least stop and ask? I mean, the choice is yours. Either way, it's not going to look bad on your end because you're concerned about yourself. But at the same time, that's your fellow man. They might need some help. Just be cautious. You got to be prepared. So, like I said, I would never try to convert anybody or any of that. I would just want my love for what I do to shine through me to maybe help the next person. And that's it.
Okay. Thanks, Iceman. The thing you said the name, you said the phrase, you want everything to be one unit. I feel like the only way Because, like, look, okay, you're black and you're a minority. I'm Greek and I'm a big minority in alt space, for example. We are minorities in our own ways, and we embrace it and we use it as at our advantage, and we enjoy it. It's the thing is that we as humans classify ourselves through colors. We separate ourselves through status. We also separate ourselves through religion. Everything that we do is leading to the human race breaking apart. For us to be one unit, there mustn't be races, there mustn't be sexuality, there mustn't be anything like that. There must just be the human race. And to do that, you got to take away religion, you got to take away status, you got to take away even Greek, and all that needs to go away for us to eventually be one. But yeah, food for thought. Then we have...
We can also, sorry to add,
yes.
We can just learn to respect each other's opinions, belief systems, and I think it's all about understanding and respecting. I think what we need to go through right now is just that, to understand, respect everybody's boundaries, beliefs, and not judge. And that's the first step to becoming one. And the union, not putting everything else aside, black, white, religion,
100%.
Belief systems, etc., etc.
Yes. Then we have Soul Feeder. Soul Feeder, the megaphone is yours. Welcome to the event.
Thank you for having me. I grew up in 2 different religions in the family. I grew up in Jehovah's Witness and Taoism, and I'm not in any religion because personally I don't believe in religion. I believe like religion is a way to control people. And then I have dated people who are religious and like not like in religion. If you're in love, you're in love. Doesn't matter what religion you are. Like as long as you can like mutually respect the person, I think it's fine. And growing up, like my parents never really forced it on us. They let us follow them to whatever religion they're doing, but like they let you choose your own life because it's your life. Eventually, when it comes down to it, it's your life. If you want to follow religion, go ahead. Like, but don't force it on other people.
So, Soulfeeder, would you pursue a relationship if you read this dilemma?
Yeah, I would pursue a relationship. If they're Christian, that's fine. But if they're not, I'm fine with it too. Like when it comes down to it, like if you're in love with a person.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're cutting out. When it comes down to it, if you're in love with a person, like you love them for who they are, not because of their religion. That's my.
But it's more about so say you two you fall in love, and both of you are mutual. The problem are the external influences, which is the family, the society, your background, not the 2 people that are in the relationship.
External influences. My grandparents, they were very forceful on religion. When it comes down to it, you gotta stand your ground.
100%. Know your boundaries. So raise your hand if you would like to rebuttal based on what any of the people over here have said today. I see Dr. Sam's put up his hand again.
Timon, yes, just Iceman. I think some very wise words out of Iceman's mouth, and I totally agree with him. I think the sad reality, and Iceman made the point, he said, I am black. Now, you took the words out of my mouth. We shouldn't be saying that. We should be saying that we are all part of the human race. And it's very sad that we've got to say that I'm white, I'm black, I'm yellow. And I think there are many things that are divisive in the world. And certainly our color, unfortunately, does divide us. Our religions do divide us. Our languages divide us. So there are so many things that divide us. But ideally, I would love to see a world that that Iceman pointed out, where we are all unified as one human race, like in this room. We are all digital citizens. We are all equal in this room. It's a pity we can't be equal in the real world. And that's what I wanted to say.
It actually reminds me of something I saw today. And the other thing that separates us is now sexuality, with so many different what is it? Not sexes, genders nowadays. There's 52 genders. And the one thing I read is that, so there's demisexual, there's transsexual, there's homosexual, there's sapiosexual, there's pansexual. At the end of the day, we're all just sexual, right? That's all it is. Love is love and sexual. Raise your hand if you have anything.
And just to add,
yes.
Sorry about that. Just to add something to what Dr. Sam said. Let's not forget, we all bleed red at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what color we are on the outside. Doesn't matter what belief we are. We all bleed red.
And we're all disgusting on the inside, physically.
Yep.
All right, Ali didn't like that. Yes, Mr. Nice Guy.
Sorry, I muted myself by accident.
Mr. Nice Guy, 1 second. It's easier to see the hand raise rather than your hand actually raising, but all yours.
Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate that. What he said and the other gentleman said to me, and what I have my concept to it all, is that when you have a defined line in between black and white, basically it's not the perception to that, especially if you're in a chamber or something of that nature, and it's a horrible thing, and they had vampirated it because of all of that, and they don't allow that to happen in the chamber. It's basically the category that they like to use is what they call candidate minorities. That's how it's used, because it's able to conquer a very, very large of nationalism. And the other thing that I wanted to say very quickly is that I had a family and I had a mom. She did not care too much about religion and her own understanding. He said if you did get yourself involved in having some sort of belief or understanding of it, you could try stuff. I joined what they call Pioneer. And the Pioneers, what they did is to explore many, many different types of religions and faiths and understandings of it. And my biggest thing was, and what my mom would always tell me, how did it make you feel?
We have come to the end of the second social dilemma. I thank you very much for your time, for being here.